August 21st, 1942, Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands. The air hangs thick with rot and rain, a green hell dense, steaming, and alive with death. Lieutenant Colonel William Whaling crouches beneath a dripping palm frond, binoculars pressed to his eyes. Across the Matanikau River, shadows move in the undergrowth, not the usual kind. Japanese scouts. Silent, methodical, almost invisible. He lowers the glasses. Around him, exhausted Marines slump in the mud, rifles pointed nowhere. The enemy owns the jungle. Every trail feels like a trap, every rustle a whisper of death. Whaling exhales slowly, jaw tight. He's fought before in the trenches of France, 25 years ago. Back then, war was lines and trenches, steel and courage. This is something else. Here, the jungle decides who lives. "Colonel," a sergeant murmurs, "orders are to hold the ridge, but the boys can't see 10 feet out there." Whaling wipes rain from his face. "Then we stop fighting the jungle," he says, "and start fighting like it." That night, under flickering lantern light, Whaling sketches on a damp map. He circles high ground, stream crossings, thickets. His pencil moves quick, sure. These aren't conventional patrol routes, they're hunting trails. He's thinking like the enemy now. Hunters, he mutters. Men who can track, shoot, and vanish. He knows exactly where to find them. Within days, word spreads through the 1st Marine Division. Colonel Whaling's starting something new, a scout, sniper detachment. Volunteers only, no parade, ground Marines need apply. They come in small numbers, backwoodsmen from Tennessee, ranch hands from Texas, trappers from Maine, men who can smell rain before it falls. Whaling drills them hard, no formations, no bugles. Just compass, knife, and Springfield rifle. Move silent, shoot straight, disappear. At dawn, their first mission begins. Whaling's men slip through vines and mud, barefoot to muffle sound. Hours later, they return bloodied, mud-caked, carrying captured maps and a Japanese officer's field radio. Not one casualty. By September, whispers ripple through the ranks. The colonel's ghosts are rewriting jungle warfare. The campaign shifts. Marine patrols move with new confidence, guided by scouts who can sense ambush before it happens. Whaling's methods, stealth, independence, precision begin to spread. He's not just training soldiers, he's birthing a doctrine. On a ridge overlooking the Ilu River, Whaling watches tracers arc through night fog. The battle below is chaos, but his small teams are in control, slipping behind enemy lines, striking command posts, vanishing before the counterattack. "Sir," a captain says beside him, "you've turned Marines into hunters." Whaling nods once. "No," he says quietly, "into predators." As the campaign drags into its blood-soaked months, the colonel's scouts become legend. They move like spirits through the palms, marking the path for the divisions that follow. By year's end, the Japanese retreat, leaving behind the bones of an empire that thought it could not lose. But for Whaling, it's only the beginning. He's built the foundation. The jungle has taught its lesson, and the next generation will take it further than he ever imagined. Section 2. The Birth of the 40 Thieves. June 1944. Saipan, Mariana Islands. The air smells of salt, cordite, and the burned remains of Garapan. The sea behind the landing beaches is a frothing cauldron of wrecked LVTs and bodies, the price of invasion. Inland, through shattered sugarcane and coral hills, the Japanese are regrouping, thousands of them. First Lieutenant Frank Tachovsky squints through his binoculars from a shell crater. He's 24, square-jawed, built like a prizefighter, but the eyes are older, hard from what he's seen. He's seen Marines die screaming in the surf. He's seen what happens when the Japanese charge at night with bayonets and bugles. And he's seen what Whaling's kind of men could do. 2 years earlier on Guadalcanal, Tachovsky had watched the colonel's scout snipers ghost through the jungle, unseen and unstoppable. Now, on Saipan, he needs men like that, but meaner. A runner slides into the pit, panting. "Sir," Major says we need a recon element deep. Garapan's ammo dump, the one behind the coastal ridge. We can't shell it, too close to civilians. Tachovsky nods, wipes grime from his hands. Then we go in quiet. The runner hesitates. With who, sir? You've got half a platoon left. Tachovsky glances toward the beach perimeter. Down by the cages sit rows of men in shackles, Marines from the brig, drunks, brawlers, thieves. Some were caught looting, others fighting officers. A few, he'd heard, just couldn't stay out of trouble long enough to die. He smiles thinly. I'll find 40. That evening, under the dim glow of lanterns, Tachovsky walks between the rows of prisoners. The guards eye him warily. I'm looking for volunteers, he says. One man spits. Volunteers for what, Lieutenant? Tachovsky's gaze doesn't waver. A suicide detail. You come with me. You fight like Marines again. You screw up. I'll personally put you back in chains. But you'll get a rifle, a chance, and maybe your honor back. Silence. Then a laugh from the back. What's the catch? You live, Tachovsky says, and you'll have to kill better than anyone else on this island. The next morning, 40 men stand in formation or something close to it. Tattoos, scars, grins that border on madness. Tachovsky reads the roster. Congratulations, gentlemen, he says. You're the 40 thieves. Ope. Their training is brutal, not regulation innovation. They learn to kill silently, using carbars and garrotes. They crawl through fields of razor-sharp coral, swim under live fire, stalk sentries in the dark. Whaling's doctrines form the skeleton, but Tachovsky adds new muscle infiltration, demolition, assassination. Within days, the island whispers their name. The thieves vanish into jungle ravines, emerging hours later with prisoners, intel, or the dog tags of Japanese officers. June 27th, 1944, the night of their proving ground. Under moonlight, Tachovsky leads his 40 ghosts toward Garapan. The town is silent except for the cheer of insects and the occasional distant cry of Banzai. Moving in pairs, they slit sentry throats, plant charges on ammo caches, and vanish before the echoes fade. By dawn, the sky blooms orange, the Japanese supply depot is gone. But their real task is yet to come. The following day, intercepted communications reveal panic in the Japanese ranks. The thieves have done more than destroy weapons. They've killed 17 officers, the very men coordinating the coming Banzai assault. On July 7th, that assault comes anyway, 3,000 Japanese soldiers, charging in the dawn with bayonets gleaming. But without their commanders, it's chaos, disorganized, desperate. Marines hold firm on the Tanapag plain, and the thieves now dug in along a flanking ridge pour fire into the advancing wave. Tachovsky shouts over the din, his Thompson chattering until the barrel smokes. Hold the line! Nobody falls back! For 3 hours, they fight hand to hand. When it's over, the coral field is a carpet of bodies. The 40 thieves have lost half their number, but they've stopped a regiment. As medics move among the fallen, Tachovsky leans on his rifle, breathing smoke and blood. Around him, his remaining men grin through exhaustion. One corporal mutters, "Guess we earned our parole, sir." Tachovsky chuckles, voice hoarse. "You earned your legend." He looks toward the horizon, toward the next island, the next fight, and somewhere deep inside, he knows Whaling would have approved. Section 3. The Legacy of the Ghosts. July 9th, 1944, northern Saipan. The rain begins before dawn, a soft drizzle that turns the battlefield into a haze of steam and smoke. Tachovsky's surviving men sit among the ruins of their makeshift perimeter, their faces hollowed by exhaustion. Empty ammo boxes lie beside them like headstones. The smell of gunpowder and decay clings to everything. No cheers, no victory songs, just silence and the low murmur of corpsmen tagging the dead. Tachovsky walks the line, boots sinking into red mud. Every few yards, a hand lifts a survivor acknowledging him. He nods back, eyes sharp despite the fatigue. He knows they did the impossible, 40 men against 3,000, and they held. But the cost weighs heavy. Nearby, Sergeant Tex Graham, one of the thieves who had survived the brig and 6 months of solitary confinement, leans on his rifle. "Sir," he says quietly, "we ain't thieves anymore." Ugh. Tachovsky looks at him and sees what Whaling must have seen in his scouts 2 years earlier. Men reborn by the crucible of war. "No," he replies, "you're ghosts now." That afternoon, Navy photographers arrive to document what's left of Saipan's front. The 40 thieves, what remains of them, stand awkwardly in front of a wrecked Japanese tank. Their uniforms are shredded, faces unshaven, weapons still blackened with soot. Tachovsky refuses to have their names listed. "We're not posing for medals," he mutters. "We did a job." When the reports reach headquarters, incredulity follows. A reconnaissance unit composed of brig inmates ordered to infiltrate deep enemy territory had not only crippled the Japanese command network, but prevented the total collapse of the Marine front. Division staff officers argue over whether to commend or court-martial the man who had authorized it. In the end, General Holland Smith settles it with a single line. Results speak louder than regulations. August 1944, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Lieutenant Colonel William Whaling, now serving as Chief of Scouting and Patrolling for the Fleet Marine Force, receives a debrief on Saipan. He scans the report in silence, the edges of his mouth tightening into something between pride and melancholy. He'd envisioned what jungle war demanded. Men who could think like hunters, kill like assassins, and vanish like smoke. But Tachovsky had gone further. He had taken broken men, convicts, brawlers, the cast-offs of the Corps, and turned them into an elite strike team. It was the logical, brutal evolution of Whaling's own doctrine. He sets the report down. Outside, planes thunder off the runway toward the next island. The war is far from over, but Whaling senses something larger, a shift in how wars will be fought. No longer by lines and numbers, but by shadows and precision. He calls in his adjutant. "File this under reconnaissance lessons," he says, "and tell the training division we'll need more men who can move without being seen." 80 years later, 2023, at Camp Pendleton, the Marine Corps holds a quiet ceremony. The Scout Sniper program, born from Whaling's experiments on Guadalcanal and refined by Tachovsky's 40 Thieves, is officially retired. The Marine Corps reconnaissance and raider battalions now carry that legacy, but the old designation fades into history. Yet among veterans and historians, the lineage is unbroken. Whaling's ghost companies and Tachovsky's brig-born assassins shaped modern reconnaissance, influencing everything from force recon to marine raiders to special operations units across the world. Their tactics, silent insertion, target elimination, deep reconnaissance became the language of modern warfare. In the archives, one faded page tells it all. On Saipan, 40 men destroyed an army. Their weapons were silence, courage, and each other. And somewhere in the echo of jungle rain and distant surf, the ghosts of the 40 Thieves still move unseen, carrying forward the creed of a Marine who once looked at the jungle and decided to fight like it.